All right, what is up? Welcome to this video. And today I'm going to be asking a couple of questions and getting to know David Kolawole here, who is a friend of mine, I believe. And
Yeah,
we are going to be talking about just the whole self improvement space, the whole online entrepreneurship, and how we see the landscape of content creation, especially in Africa, and his own personal story. And yeah, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself.
all right. Hi everyone. I'm David. My name is David Kolawole, and I'm a student in uni and also a creator. Yeah, content creator, and I talk about self improvement, personal development on my channel on YouTube, and also finance, business, digital marketing, and entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that made me want to interview or talk to David on the channel here is because of how consistent he was, and somebody I noticed that that level of consistency, because he regularly uploads. You can check out his channel. Um, it takes somebody who's committed to what they want to do and what they're trying to achieve. So, um, I just wanted to see if what drives some of that. Okay, are you ready for the questions? I just have a couple of questions here to ask you to get the conversation started. First off,
Yeah. So,
the first question I'd ask is, why do you think people should listen to you? So this is like you selling yourself. If you were to pitch yourself to someone who doesn't know you, why should they listen to you?
okay. Yeah. So I'm not like one of those gurus. I'm just like an everyday guy. So I'm sharing my journey. Right now, I don't make much money. I'm still dependent on my parents.
Mm,
So I want to share my journey of how I grew, how I improved myself mentally, physically and financially,
mm,
and how and just to document it on YouTube and show the world that anybody, even if you didn't come from a rich family, even if you are not that, you know, maybe a millionaire, a multimillionaire, you can build wealth, you can become financially free, you
mm,
can become successful no matter your challenges, no matter what.
And
Yeah.
I agree with that statement as well. I don't know if you knew, but I mentioned that I've been uploading videos, or I uploaded videos to YouTube since 2017. So that's like
Yeah.
almost 6 years ago. So it's also important that documenting your journey aspect. It's so crazy to look back and say, oh, this is
Yeah.
what I was doing at this time or a year ago. Now
Yeah.
imagine
It's
a year
going to be
from
so
now.
amazing. Yeah.
Exactly. Looking at the
Imagine the
journey.
next 5 years, the next 10 years,
Yeah.
looking back to your videos
It would
and seeing yourself be like, wow,
it's an insane feeling.
growth.
Definitely, exactly. And some people find these things hard to believe that, oh, these people aren't normal people, these people aren't humans, they come from somewhere else, or they're just lucky, or they have this
Yeah.
opportunity or something that I don't have. Just whatever excuses, and it's really not the case. It's really not the case. So second
Yeah.
question is, what made you want to start this journey, or what was your first introduction to this space? Because generally it's like, oh, everybody's in school, everybody's thinking about, okay, I go to high school, I'm just watching ball, I'm just playing games and doing all this random stuff, and then from there I'm going to university, I get a job. What made you like, what introduced you even to the concept that, oh, there's something else, or there's something some people are doing called, even self-improvement, or called whatever form it's taking? What introduced you and made you want to go into this space or decide to do this?
Okay. So it started long ago when I was still young, still very young in secondary school, I guess.
Mm,
I I watch movies a lot because of
mm,
my dad. My dad watch movies and series.
yeah.
So in these movies, I see all these multimillionaires, billionaires,
Mm,
people that are wealthy, living the life. And when I look at my own immediate surroundings, I don't see that.
Mm.
Then after some time, over like when I was 15, 16, 17, I started on I like YouTube.
Yeah.
So just like watching videos on YouTube, and
Mm.
before I just watch comedy, I watch skits, I watch movies, and just like any other
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I feel.
And then I came across Dan Lok on
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay.
So Dan Lok was the first guy on YouTube that changed my perspective, changed my
Mm.
worldview. In
Mm.
fact, even my daddy used to show me some download videos when I was younger.
Really?
5 things rich people do that the poor don't,
Mm.
or 5 things the poor people do that the rich don't.
Mm.
And in those videos, he usually talk about going to school. Even himself that didn't go to school. That the normal school system is set you up for poverty basically.
Mm.
So download was my first encounter, and from there I just kept on learning. Yeah, that was it. I was just
Okay.
like from there
Okay.
I started my journey to entrepreneurship basically, and telling myself I will not follow the normal school system and work for someone else, work for
Mm.
myself.
Okay. Okay. And that's a common theme. I mean, I think for me it was similar as well. It wasn't necessarily the same way, but it was through YouTube. So I remember I stayed with a friend, and he was a family friend. I slept over at his house, and he was like super into YouTube. This was like 2016, not 16, maybe like back in the day when the rice gums were just popping off, and the KSIs were just popping off, and then I got introduced to YouTube from him, and I heard about Rice Gum, and then I heard about, oh, these guys are YouTubers and they're making money online and making money on the
Who
internet.
is Lifestyle? I don't know who
You
that
don't know
is.
Rice Gum? Okay, he's a very popular YouTuber. He was like, you know KSI? Do you know KSI?
Yeah, I think
He's a YouTuber that was just as popular as KSI back in the day, and he used to make all this content. He
KSI
used
is
to make diss tracks.
the guy that does basketball stuff, right?
Basketball? No, 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 no. You don't know
I
KSI. You don't
don't.
know Logan Paul.
I know Logan Paul. I know Logan. Sure.
The guy who did a boxing match with Logan Paul
Okay,
from the
okay,
UK.
okay,
Yeah. But KSI is basically just as popular as Logan Paul. And Logan Paul, I also
okay.
started watching a lot of Logan Paul back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I just
yeah.
became a fan of YouTube first. So that's where it started. And then I wanted to be a YouTuber. So it wasn't as much as, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur or this, that, or school is bad or what. I just wanted to be a YouTuber. That was where it started. So from
Okay.
wanting to be a YouTuber, because those guys were
But that's because you found out that they make money from YouTube.
exactly. They were driving Lamborghinis. They had all these houses. They were doing all these cool things, wearing all this Supreme and
Yeah,
whatnot.
cool
And I
stuff.
was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's the life I want to live. Like just making videos. Videos that I can make. Come on, that's the life I want to live. So, which is still a passion of mine till this day. But after just being in the YouTube landscape, then I got started more recently in the more recent years. I started getting introduced to a lot more self improvement content and you know
Okay.
more concepts about, and it started around 2020, after the pandemic. That was when I was like introduced to more of the
Mm.
better yourself, and you need to
So,
focus, and a lot was going on in the world that I was like, okay, I need to make something out of it, and take initiative. So that's where it was for me. But moving on, I'll say
great.
I think I've asked you this in private before, but why is it that you do what you do in the content, and what is your
Yeah.
goal? Why is it that you do what you do, and what is your goal?
Okay. Well, the main reason, the first reason,
Mm,
way back, is to be financially free,
yeah,
to be
that's
able to
core.
afford anything you want and not live under budget. To yeah, just be financially abundant. That's the goal. But
Mm,
then later on, find out that in order to be financially free, in order to make money, you have to give. value.
Mm-hmm.
So, what value
Can
is
you give?
this? Now, on the creator space, my goal, my aim is just to help a lot of young people in every way possible, personally, in personal development, in their finances, help them to develop themselves, mentally, physically, financially, and even spiritually.
Mm.
Yeah, just become the best versions of themselves.
Themselves. Definitely. I
Yeah.
feel like if you don't have a heart for people, you can't do that kind of stuff. Okay, speaking of that, my next question is, what do you think is the biggest problem with our generation?
The biggest problem,
Mm-hmm.
uh, our generation.
Yes. What do you think in aspect of self improvement and achieving stuff like financial literacy, living a more fulfilling life, and
Okay.
breaking out of this mold that everybody falls into from this is how you live your
Yeah,
life is
nice.
what do you think is the thing that stops most people in our generation from being able to do that and be capable like these people we see who are excelling or stopping even us from getting to that. And I know us is a work in progress. It's a time thing,
It
as long
is.
as you're putting
Yeah.
in the work. But generally, what do you think is the biggest problem for people around our ages?
Okay. So, number one, the first problem, which I feel is like the biggest problem, which is general,
Mm-hmm.
right, is just the social conditioning. We
Mm.
all have the same conditioning, even from our parents and our
Yeah.
grandparents, to follow the normal system,
Yeah.
go to school, get out, get a job, save, get married, buy a house,
Mm.
save, buy a house, save, buy a car, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
just the normal societal thing.
That is
So
true.
that's the biggest problem I feel that many people have. They find it hard to break out of that conditioning already.
Mm.
Because even their parents are in it, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I'm going to talk about that is a problem for the few that know that okay, this is not the way. This
Mm-hmm.
is I need to find a better way, right?
Yeah.
But those few people, they are classified into two sets. The first set did not even bother to start because of maybe they are scared or they
Mm.
feel like they cannot do it.
Mm.
Yeah. And then the second set are people that have they had the courage to start,
Yeah.
but then it's not easy. It's tough. It's tough.
Mm. So they give up along the way.
They give up. They fall. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And not that we are, I'm there yet, Father. I'm nowhere near there.
Oh,
But
I understand.
we are, I'm yeah, just trying my best to be more dedicated
Yeah, yeah, you need to pursue it with a passion because
and
every
keep
every
pushing.
day is a
Yeah.
chance. Every day is a chance. And there's this guy, that guy that I mentioned, I think to you before, that Ahmed Khan. It's like there's a concept of working hard and competition in some of these things.
When it talks about hard work
Oh yes,
and
yes, yes, yes. A lot of people, it's very easy to lose momentum when you lose sight of the big picture as well. I was looking into like something about like I don't know. I was thinking of creating a vision board earlier today, because I feel like it's one of those things where because everything around you is so conditioned to that mindset of okay, this is what it is, this is what it is. You have to constantly remind yourself and put it at the forefront of your mind that okay, this is what I'm achieving and this is what I'm trying to do. Because you lose
yes,
momentum when you're in these circles with everybody else around you, and it's like nobody's understanding what you're trying to do. So what's the point of even doing this? And it's not
yeah, you
easy.
tend to forget about it
Exactly.
and just
Exactly. And it's like when you have those things, when you have the vision right in front of your eyes, you're like, okay, this is what I'm trying, this is what I'm aiming for. And for this, like it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like I mean, people have different goals. A lot of the time, people say they want these things, they say they want that. But if you look at the life that it takes, like the life you'll be living if you achieve that, how much work you have to do every day if you finally
Yeah,
get to that goal. Do people really want that? I don't know. Because they'll say, oh, I want the money, I want this, but they don't want to be working, they don't want
they
to
don't
be
want to do the
strategized, they
work.
don't want to be leading. And in this space, I noticed that a lot of things is self accountability. So if you don't wake up and go and do it, nobody's going to tell you, "Oh, stand up and go and do it." So some people don't have that commitment to
To drive themselves and push
exactly,
themselves.
and to be disciplined with this. So I definitely see where you're coming from. I definitely see where you're coming
Yeah.
from. Um, okay, let's see. So in this space, this is the next question. In this space that we're in, and in regards to content and online business, this is not just about content as well, but about online business. You know, there's different business models. There's people who do drop shipping, there's people who do SMMA, there's people who do drop servicing. There's many different um, 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 um,
Online business
paths to
models.
go. Exactly. Which ones do you think, with the new developments that we're having now, with new AI, with new tech, whatever it may be, which one do you think is most important and is the biggest opportunity for people now to capitalize on for the future? To say, okay, this there's a lot of opportunity here. Some people think it's crypto. Some people said it was NFTs back in the day. Who knows where NFTs are now? But what do you think that is?
So I feel it depends. It depends on what people, like, it depends on the individual.
Okay.
But for me now, what I would consider as the best route is number one, learn a skill or have a hobby, a lucrative hobby.
So, what is your
Number two,
hobby of choice?
yeah. What is it?
I'm saying your own skill that you would say this is what I would recommend for general people because, oh, it's easier to get into, it's not as hard. What is your own recommendation personally?
Recommendation. I won't recommend. I can't say I can recommend anyone yet, but the one I'm learning,
Yeah.
one of the skills I'm learning right now is 3D modeling and animation.
Okay. 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 Interesting. All right. You can continue
Yeah,
to
so
continue.
that's one skill I'm learning now. So, but then I was learning. I was into digital marketing. I still am into digital marketing, email marketing, website design, and graphic design, and all digital marketing skills. So, learn a skill, right? Then build a personal brand.
Hmm.
This can be, well, more recommended. I recommend YouTube, right? But not necessarily YouTube. You can build on Twitter, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, Instagram, any social media of your choice. Actually, the one you like the most, the one you are more comfortable with.
Hmm.
So you build and you share your journey as you progress, and you also teach as you progress. Teach about what you are learning, teach about what you do, right? And
Hmm.
then just build.
Okay.
And that's what I feel, because personal branding is very important.
Hmm.
You as a brand is is a lot of, it's promising. It's a promising stuff.
Yeah.
To learn a skill, teach it, and share your journey
I agree. I
online.
think it's a good opportunity these days. There's so much leverage that you can build up with a personal brand. Um, but it's not necessarily the easiest to do. I think even in America, I think the statistics show like being like a YouTuber or something is like the most wanted job for kids these days. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody wants to be big on TikTok, or they want to be big on YouTube. So it's 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 a highly sought after thing. So if you achieve that, you're doing well. Okay. Another question. The next question is, how do you stay consistent?
How do I stay consistent?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of my favorite creators, keep me on my toes because I watch people that are, gonna inspire me, motivate me to
Share
keep
some with
going.
us. Who are they? Let us also be inspired.
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me mention like five, I guess.
Okay.
The My number one, the guy that inspires me a lot. I'm sure you know him.
Who's
It's
that?
Iman. It's Iman.
Okay, Iman Ghazi. I see.
Iman Gaji on YouTube, on everywhere. Iman Gaji. Then I watch Hamza.
Okay.
I watch Sebastian once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Sebastian
I
Jojo.
also Sebastian Giorgio. Let me check my YouTube subscription to see the guys I can. Yeah, I also watch this guy, African Giant. He's
Who's
a
that?
Nigerian.
Really? Never heard of him. He also makes
Yeah,
content on that.
but his content is not more about personal branding. His content is just more of make money online
Okay.
opportunities. That's what
Okay.
content is about.
Okay. No, it's also an important aspect of it. So your is that the only way you when you feel like, okay, no, I'm losing track, you just go watch an Iman video and now you're back to consistency, or how does that work?
Um, I have I journal,
Mm,
I write down my plans.
mm,
I also have a vision board or a productivity board.
mm.
So when I wake up, in fact, there was this thing I used to do before, but I kind of reduced it when I just started posting on YouTube and getting serious with my self improvement.
Yeah.
I set alarms on my phone, about 10 alarms in a day.
Really?
So from time to time, the alarm will ring to remind me that, oh, stop playing, get to work. So that was like,
I
that's
see.
my, when I went home, my sisters, everyone used to complain that I'm always setting alarms.
Mm,
But that was just one of my ways of just keeping myself on my toes and,
mm.
yeah, reminding myself. And then my family, they inspire me because
Mm.
I'm passionate and really committed to taking care of them and just,
Yeah, it's always better
yeah,
when the motivation is outside of yourself. Because if you say, "Oh, I'm just working for myself," sometimes you're like, "Oh, if it's just me, then I can do this. I can manage this." But if it's for other people as
exactly,
well, it's a different passion and
yeah,
fire it gives you
yeah, yeah,
to drive
yeah.
towards other
So yeah,
goals. Yeah, those are some good points. Those are some fair points as well. Me personally, I kind of struggled because I'm coming out of it now and I'm more consistent and firing at it now. But I did struggle a lot with not necessarily consistency, but I would abandon projects. So like I used to do TikTok a lot, and I got really big on not really big like I'm some huge guy, but I got like a couple
thousand
thousands
followers.
of followers, and I got up to what, a million or something, likes, a million or two, and I
That's
stopped.
nice.
I evaluated the direction it was going, and I didn't want to continue it. But instead of me to pivot and make and optimize the platform to do better and what I now found I had a new passion for, I just dropped the whole thing. And also with YouTube, I was uploading as well. I was seeing traction. I was getting more subscribers, and I went through a period where I uploaded every day for I don't know how long, but I think it was about
Wow.
maybe 2 weeks or something like that. And I saw the growth. I saw the community growing, but I don't know. I think I hadn't found myself and found the purpose yet. So I was just doing a lot of and
Yeah, and yeah.
as a result, I didn't have that foundation. But I feel like it's something I have
Okay.
now, and with that drive, with that goal, I feel like consistency and persevering. There's no way I won't remind myself of why I'm doing it, and when I know why, I'll be better at consistent. I'll be better at keeping consistent. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. You have any questions you'd like to ask, or do you want to save that for the end when I'm done asking you questions?
Mm, you should I ask you questions personally or
Ask me a
just
question. You can ask any question. I'll for the camera, but it doesn't matter. Just answer. Ask. I'll answer. It's fine.
so this your new YouTube channel?
Yeah, this channel.
How what is it all about, and how frequent should we be expecting content?
Okay, so there are two different things. Yeah, at first it was with the concept. So there's two different things. There's the channels and there's the content. So there are many different types of contents that I want to make, and one of them is where I talk to people. Like there are some people who are doing dropshipping in my country that I kind of have a little bit of access to their DMs. Um, I want this plane to go away. Um,
Okay.
yeah, there's some people that I have a little bit of access to that do YouTube and they're doing well and that do you know so coding and they're doing well. So I wanted to have a platform where I can reach out to these people and also talk to these people and just give an insight on how people can do what they do or get. I don't know. I think you're familiar with Jordan Welch. He makes videos where he talks about all these
Yeah.
questions. So content similar to that, but just people that I have access
Okay.
to and I know. And I wanted to do that on my personal channel like he does. But thinking about it again, I think because of the direction I want to take my personal channel into, I will make this on a separate channel. So this will be like a different channel, and I will that's where I will showcase these stories. So this would be a channel for telling those stories, and the main channel will
Okay.
be a channel for my story. So if you're asking about this channel, this is gonna be a channel where I have conversations because I feel like I it's one of those things that I enjoy doing, talking to people. It's gonna be a channel where I talk to
Okay.
different people who do different things about their perspective on life and just how information that can be useful to people watching to maybe be better, be more consistent, or have an insight on what they could do, what they could not do, or what however they want to take it. So that's my vision for
Okay.
this channel. And how frequently I'm gonna upload is however many conversations I can have, and that's the vision for this channel.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm expecting a lot of great content from you.
Yeah, I mean, with time we'll build it up and get better. I believe.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the next question that I have to ask you is, how do you stop caring or not stop caring? Maybe stop caring or stop letting what other people think or say about you affect you.
Man, it's tough.
Mm,
It's tough. And now I see why these successful people say it's not easy to be successful. I know I've not even seen up to half of it yet, but I'm having a little taste of it because
mm,
me doing all these things I'm doing, making videos, posting on YouTube, getting into self development, going to the gym,
mm,
reading books, waking up early.
mm,
People, when I tell people about this or when they see me do some of these things, they look at me weird, like there's something wrong with me.
mm.
So I I personally am a kind of introverted person.
Yeah, I
So
feel
I
the
don't
same
really,
way as myself.
yeah. So I I am comfortable being alone normally.
Mm.
So I don't mind continue to be alone and just working on myself
Mm.
and doing my stuffs.
Mm.
Because there are just some people that I will not say I lose some friends because they were not really, some of them were not really friends, but
Mm.
they just stop talking to me or just look reduce the way they talk to me and just look at me in a different certain way because of the things I do.
Mm.
And they just feel like I'm a weird guy.
Mm.
But with time,
Yeah, I mean, if you
I
if you
hope to prove them wrong.
yes, if you look at the history of people who do things that are different, they believe different things, they go against the grain. If everybody's using a
Yeah,
candle, the person who's decided one day to say, "Oh, guys, let's not use a candle. There's something called a light bulb. I can figure it out." Everybody's gonna look at him like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" But without that
yeah,
person being there and having that different thoughts, there wouldn't we wouldn't be where we are today with lights that we have. So yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean with that. It's just sometimes I know me personally, I struggle or struggled with that in particular. Not necessarily like, oh, people will stop talking to me. No, like my friends will be my friends because me, I keep my online presence and physical one separate, which is another thing that is an effect because kind of like I'm shy a little bit. Like I don't want to tell them I do this or I don't want to tell people I do that, which also can be a bad thing because it's you're losing opportunity and those are people who you should be marketing yourself to. Um,
yeah.
but it was just a thing where I'm like, oh, like I don't want people to know I'm doing this or it's just thoughts of not even what they're gonna say, but the fact that they can think something else about me. It's like, oh, I start thinking about that. But it's something that I'm also growing out of because really people don't really care about you that much. They're living their own life. They're worried about what they're worried
Oh,
about.
yeah.
And that's something that we should all remember. And yeah, I think it's a good point you made that at the end of the day, I think also one thing I want to mention, there's a difference between the climates um in the creator space over where you are and over where I am. Because here there have been there, but in Nigeria there are also people who are successful with it. But here there are people
Yeah.
our age who are successful with social media. From even just TikTok alone, there are people with millions of followers here on TikTok and they're getting brand deals and they're making money and like they're living in their own apartments who are similarly aged around us, all from doing TikTok. So here in our social circles or in our age groups, it's very common to see people successful doing those things. So if somebody was to see you here doing something like that, they wouldn't their thought would be like, oh no, this is weird. Like why is somebody doing this or what? It would be the opposite actually because they would say, oh, this person is doing something that, oh, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that, and that's
Man,
yeah. But that
is
side,
is way different over here.
yeah.
Like before you see another creator, you see you will see 5,000 non-creators. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, but I mean,
yeah, it's different.
that's the beauty of the internet now though, so you don't have to be limited to your location. You can connect with people online.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned books earlier. The next question I was gonna ask is, do you have any book recommendations for anybody watching?
Yeah, it depends on what they want to learn about. Depends on the subject matter,
Okay,
right?
so for somebody who is just starting and they want to know what the roadmap is like, because basically this lifestyle that we are aiming to achieve is something outside of the common modern, oh, this is school, university, job, all
Yeah.
of that. But now they don't really understand what the other path is. They know that okay, there's something, and these people are living these lives. They can travel, they can do all this, they can afford all this stuff. But what does it actually look like? What does that lifestyle look like? What book would you recommend to give them the full perspective of what it means?
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll tell them to work on their selves, work on their finances, work on their mental health, their mindset.
Mm.
And there are books that cater to all of these needs. Like for the mentality, for example, we have Awaken the Giant Within
Okay.
by this guy. What is his name again? Anthony Robbins, yeah.
Okay.
So Awaken the Giant Within, Anthony Robbins. Then for finances, business, there are a lot of books. There are a lot of books in that niche. Books like Think and Grow Rich, The
Mm.
Richest Man in Babylon,
Mm.
The Millionaire Fast Lane, Rich Dad Poor Dad is kind of common.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there are some few books on finance. And then self improvement, personal development, working on your own self, becoming number one, Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog talks about becoming overcoming procrastination, and just becoming consistent.
Mm.
Then we have atomic habits that help you to build the habits you need.
Mm.
We have how to win friends and influence people
Mm.
by the Carnegie. That one is about becoming
Sorry
more
to interrupt.
social.
Have you read all these books like from beginning to the end?
Not all.
Because I'm like,
Not
how do you read
all.
this many
All
books?
the books. All the books I just mentioned now.
Yeah.
I've read them
Wow.
all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of reading.
I,
Me, I I've
I read it.
I've only tried to read two books. And the first book I ever, like, this is not like I'm talking read like, okay, I'm gonna read this from the beginning to the end. The first book
To the end. Yeah.
is called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I don't know if you know David
Okay.
Goggins.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So I read the book like halfway through,
That's
and it was a good book to, because it was about mental toughness and building that mindset, because I was
yeah.
somebody who was attached to comfort, like I'm comfortable here, and I didn't want to push myself. So that video did help me transition into like getting out
The
of that
book.
comfort, but I didn't end up finishing it.
Okay.
And the second book that I've been reading, and I this one I plan to finish because it's such an impactful book, is called Killing Sacred Cows, and it's by Gareth Anderson, I believe. And it's a book that talks about killing sacred cows, and the sacred cows are financial myths. So it's a book that goes around about breaking financial myths that have been carried on from our parents to our parents, like, oh, a job is what
Okay.
equals security and money, or investing in a retirement fund is what's going to give you the best returns, or more risk more reward, or those myths that make people
Yeah.
believe that, oh, more risk more reward, I can dump my money in here, but even though it
Yeah.
may all go to zero, it can also go to 100 million. But actually,
Yeah.
in actual fact, when he dives into the principles and the actual facts, the safer your investment is, you can guarantee the return. So it breaks a lot of those principles, and it's a book about finance,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really good one. I'm more than halfway through, right? Yeah, I'm like 60% through the book, and hopefully I get to finish it. But
Uh,
like my pace of reading, I don't know how people read so many books so fast, but I
well, one thing that helps me read fast
mm.
is I use this app. I play
You listen to
the
audiobooks.
yeah. No, not the audio book. I I open the PDF. I download the PDF on my phone, and then there's this app that reads it out like exactly the book. So okay, they brought the light back. So yeah. So the app is called Voice Aloud Reader. It
Okay.
reads out the book, and then I follow through with the hard copy. So I
Mm.
read, and that's not all the time though, but I do that sometimes, and I read and I follow through, and then I pause it when I have something to write down. So
Mm.
yeah, I started reading about over a year now, And when I just started getting into books, I usually read one book a week. Every week I finish a book.
Finish a book.
Depending on how big the book is, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus
If the book is
Christ.
very big, I might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And there are some small
What?
books I finish in within 2, 3 days.
Let me give you this book that I said I've been reading, Killing Sacred Cows. I've been reading it for about almost 6 months now.
Welcome to Nigeria.
Hey, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Don't worry. They'll just say, why is this thing going lights, no lights? No problem. But yeah, it takes me longer to read books. I think you have a better approach to it than I am. Maybe I'll try that out as well. Cause I'm like, oh, I have to
Yeah.
like read it myself and like do the one. But
Yeah.
I'll try it out, and I just want to also
Another
try.
thing I do is dedicate like a number of hours for reading every day.
Mm,
Maybe 1 hour or 2 hours every day. And don't stand up until you exhaust those hours and you might just go
yeah,
far. Yeah, go for it.
go for it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll try that. I'll try that as well. Okay, we got star. Okay, you've answered that. Okay, let's see. So I have two more questions. The first question is, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned so far since you started this whole thing?
Biggest lesson.
That you've learned so far from the beginning of when you started this change till now, or whatever it may be. Even if it was halfway through you discovered something, what is the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
I've learned a lot of things. That it's so hard to say exactly the one
Okay,
biggest
I
lesson.
understand that. Which one has had
Yeah.
the most impact in changing the results that you're seeing? The most
Okay,
impactful one. What aspect? Yeah.
one of them is that consistency is okay. Before consistency, you have to take action and start. That's the first thing.
Mm,
If you want to do something and you know what you have to do, you just have to start. Take action, implement. Even if you have been learning a skill or you have been learning about something, implement that thing, immediately learning it, right? Or
mm,
if a business, just start. Avoid procrastination. And
mm,
then the second thing is consistency.
mm, mm, mm,
So life is a journey. Whatever it is that you want is a journey that takes time. You have to keep on going, keep growing, keep moving, and just be consistent with whatever it is you are doing and trust the process.
yeah, yeah,
So those are
definitely. I agree, man. I agree. If you don't start,
yeah,
you'll miss the opportunity and you'll start regretting, like, oh, like, what if I did this? What if I did that? And that's the last thing you
yeah,
want to have in life.
yeah,
All right. This is the final question that I wrote down to ask you, and it is, for a beginner watching this video, watching this content, how would you recommend that they start their own journey?
yeah. Okay. For a beginner watching this and wants to just live a successful life, success, like some people say, depends, it has different meanings to different people.
Yeah.
But then just live a life of abundance
Mm-hmm.
where you are free, you can afford anything you want, you can go to anywhere you want at any time,
Mm,
right? You have time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. So the internet is like a gold mine now, is an opportunity. Like it can help you fast track your progress. What people usually do before in 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, you can achieve in 5 years to 10 years because of the internet. So leverage this tool and yeah,
Yeah.
and learn something that brings value to other people, and they will gladly give you their money in return.
Mm. Yeah.
You start by trading your time for money, and then you leverage, you outsource it, and just not trade your time for money anymore, but then just have a passive income system.
I see you quoting Iman a lot. But yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with you. It's definitely one of those things where, for me, what I would say to somebody who is watching this and is like, "Oh, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do." It's literally what he said. The internet is such a huge resource that there's so many different ways. So get on the internet and stop using it for random entertainment to distract yourself. Use it to solve those problems that you're running away from. So look for ways. If it's money that you're into, I mean, that you need, like, that's the first priority, because there's fitness, there's finances, there's the mindset, there's many different aspects to becoming better. And I'd say use the internet, find resources, content like this, and content that also explains, business ideas, explain skills that you can learn, and capitalize on that. You don't need to pay for that. You don't need to pay a school year. You don't need to pay a school term. You don't need to buy textbooks for that. It's on your phone. If you can watch this right now, you can go learn something valuable. So that's all I have to say for that, and that's all the questions that I have. We've come to the end of my questioning for the day. Do you have any questions, any remarks, anything you want to bring across?
Um, mm, yeah, just for everyone watching, for everyone seeing this, just want you to know that you can do anything, and there's nothing that you cannot do. So if you want something, just go for it, and don't let anything or anyone stop you from achieving your dreams, achieving whatever it is that you want. And then for everything that there is, right, for every price, there is an effort, there is training, there is work to be done. So if you really want that, then you must be ready to put in that work, put in, go through the training, go through the pains, the failures, and definitely, so far you don't quit, you will achieve your goals. You will win. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. It was nice conversation. It was nice to share some thoughts, share some ideas, and
Thanks for having me on your channel, bro.
no problem, man. Hopefully, somebody watching got something, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and guys, subscribe to Joshua's channel.
Thank you
Subscribe to
very
this
much.
channel. We are seeing this.
Yes, yes. Please subscribe. There's gonna be more content coming through. I don't know how soon um it's gonna be up, because it also depends on the willingness of the people to speak with me
Come on.
or converse with
Yeah,
me. But as many people as I can, that's the message, that's the intention. We're gonna get that and share these
yeah,
stories, man.
cool.
All right. Thank you.